Hello Paisanos, it's Ian63, and I finally finished playing Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, Meetup, and Bellabel Park. And yeah, I was able to finish the game, so I'm just gonna, start, playing through it and stuff. But since now I finally finished the game, and also credit goes to, of course, Beard Bear, like always, for his amazing, long plays and stuff. It definitely helped me with some of the challenges that got pretty hard and stuff. But overall, I have to say my final thoughts on Super Mario Bros. Wonder before I say goodbye to it forever is what I really liked was... So what I really like first off is this new power-up we have in the DLC map. So before, let me just turn it down and stuff. But if we go all the way here and stuff, oh yeah, I am doing something a little bit different. Rather than explain through it through my Let's Play videos, I'm gonna explain through it this time in a, of me playing the actual game and stuff. But as we go here, all right, here is the map and stuff, Bellabel Park, and yeah. So I'll turn on the volume again. So here's Bellabel Park and stuff. What I really like about this was obviously the overworld was nice. And my favorite part especially about this was the boss fights. Now before we get to that, the story is well, before you start Bellabel Park and stuff, we get to see, of course, Rosalina and stuff coming out from that, wait, no, this is the main game, sorry. Here it is, the Bellabel Park. And here it is. So Rosalina, I did play through her a bit, and I gotta say her moveset is very good and stuff. I didn't play through the entire game, though, because obviously, I'm used to Mario and stuff. But her moveset is really nice. I definitely gotta say, it may not be the best, but they did at least a good job. It's because we're never really used to seeing Rosalina and playing in a Mario platformer and stuff, aside from the Mario Kart and Mario Party. But it was nice to see that, she has that similar feeling to Peach and Daisy and stuff. So yeah, but I usually play this game mostly as Mario. So anyways, if you don't know, basically, where this game really, in my opinion, shines is in with the boss fights. So obviously this is Ludwig, one of the boss fights, but I will be explaining it through, through my screenshots I took and stuff. But from my screenshots I have here, well, these are the credits and stuff. Let me go and back here. Alright, here's one of the boss fights, that's Ludwig, but we're going to go in chronicle order. Okay, no, that's Roy. Alright. Oh god, I took too many damn pictures. This is kind of embarrassing. No, that's my Resident Evil stuff. Okay, so here it is. So, first of all, from the opening cutscene here and stuff, we start off, with the Mario and his crew. And then, the Koopalings are back, like always. It's been a while since we've seen them. And, of course, they stole all the Bellabel flowers and stuff in this Bellabel Park. And now it's up for us to stop them and stuff. So, our first boss obviously has all of them and stuff. And after we defeat them, they all split up. And that's our first Bellabel flower. And then, of course, we meet up with Captain Toad in all these matches. And here's the first boss against Wendy. It was really fun to fight her in this fish form, cheap form. And after Wendy, then we fight the second boss, which is Lemmy and stuff. And Lemmy, of course, on the spiky ball, I'm going to be honest, was probably the weakest because it was very, very basic. But it was so fun. I enjoyed it. And then the third boss after that is Larry. And Larry was definitely my favorite, honestly, because of how creative it was. How you have to use the blocks and the environment to attack him and stuff. And yeah. And after Larry comes, I believe, is it Iggy or Roy? No, that's Larry. And then who comes after that? Oh, yeah, Roy. Here it is. Roy, who turns into a ghost, and now you have to use the background and stuff to hit him and stuff. And I really like that kind of fight where you have to use the background, honestly. It really makes it really more fun and more, intense, and I definitely enjoyed it. And after Roy, then we fight, who do we fight next? Oh, yeah. After Roy, then we fight Iggy and stuff. And Iggy, of course, well, considering this was spring and it's the pollen season, I guess this boss fight kind of fit and stuff. But yeah, but he was fun. I was able to defeat him. And after Iggy, we fight Morton. And Morton is another one of my favorite because of how, how you have to use, the foreground and stuff, using this bouncing mechanic. And it was really fun to fight him and stuff, and that was Morton. And now the final boss being Ludwig and stuff, which I'm going to be showing here. But Ludwig was definitely fun. He was honestly my favorite out of the bunch because of just how fun his fight was. It definitely reminded me of Sparkman from Mega Man 3 and stuff, except it was a much more intense and a bit more fun, in my opinion, because of how many more variety of attacks they were. And I was able to finally defeat him, and we rescue all the Bellabel flowers. And finally, of course, well, not yet done and stuff because there was still technically still a few more stuff we had to do. But that was the Bellabel Flowers, and we defeated Ludwig. And then Captain Toad says, you know, we have to do his challenge courses and stuff. And as you can see from here, so before we do that, let's go back to the game. But as you can see from here, we have to basically do his, you know, his challenge courses, which are here. And then you use that to plant, you know, some stuff. You plant some instruments. And then after that, you go through this concert, and this is where the final game starts. Oh, sorry, this is where the credits, and this is where pretty much where the game ends, basically. And yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, just go back now and stuff. And yeah, all right, let me just go all the way back. And here we are. Of course, I'm going to return the title. And yeah, so let's go ahead and exit now, of course. Actually, no, I'm not going to exit yet. I'm going to keep the game up, but if we go to the screenshots and stuff, of course, here are the credits. And of course, from the screenshots I got right here. And here's the final credits and stuff. We got all of his instruments. Obviously, we got all the, you know, the Poplin's instruments and stuff. And we basically are done with Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And as we go from the credits here, here are the credits. And with that said, we are basically done with the Super Mario Bros. Wonder Bellabel DLC arc. So obviously, you can see from Red Bear's video, I'm actually going to explain it, but from the credits here, basically, you're going to see this concert. And yeah, that was Super Mario Bros. Wonder Bellabel Park DLC, Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Overall, I definitely really enjoy this. It was definitely really fun. And yeah. And yeah, basically, I'm gonna skip this a bit because this is gonna take a long while. But yeah, that's basically my thoughts on Super Mario Bros. Wonder. It was overall an amazing DLC, and I really loved it, honestly. Apology if this was a bit of very long, like 9 to 10 minutes review. But I just love Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and this DLC made this game even better, honestly. Okay, well, not really better, but this DLC was a very nice addition. No, the base game itself, you know, here is obviously, you know, an 11 out of 10 perfect video game, 2D platforming video game masterpiece, and one of the best 2D platformers I played. And the DLC was even better, honestly. It was just as amazing, and it was a great addition for all of this. Yes, I bought the game twice. I don't freaking care, because this game is peak, and it's one of those games where I would buy twice. And, you know, the Nintendo Switch 2 edition gave me a good reason to buy it again and stuff. So, yeah, now I have this game, and I can play it 2 different ways now. First time I ever bought a game twice, honestly, in my life. And I don't do that to video games, but Super Mario Bros. Wonder is definitely a worthy game where I can buy it twice, honestly, thanks to the Switch 2. And that's Super Mario Bros. Wonder DLC, Bellabel Park with Rosalina, the online player mode, which I did play for a bit, and it was fun, goofy chaos. And yeah, and the level design and the boss fights were all just perfect. Indeed. Clap indeed, guys, because this video game was peak. And That's Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And thank you, Bread Bear, for the, help on this and stuff. Even though I didn't really use this playthrough that much since I already knew this game and stuff. But yeah, that's overall my final conclusion thoughts of Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Overall, an amazing video game. I definitely enjoyed it. And yeah. Alright guys, well that's overall my final review on Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Hope you all enjoy this. And yeah, thank you guys. Farewell Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Meetup in Bellabel Park. A one epic send-off farewell adventure. And yeah. This is me, EC3, saying one final goodbye and farewell, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Farewell, and yep. Farewell, Super Mario Bros. Wonder.